Anyway.
Yeah. Hello. Who's here? I don't know how to turn it over. I don't know if we can. Hey, Sandra. I'm trying to turn this over so I can have somebody else film it, but it might be what it is. Okay, the owl is here, but we haven't met it yet. I know, I'm excited too. Okay, I guess just follow me around with that since we can't flip over the camera. I gotta put on my gear.
It's so funny to me how everything looks so different on camera.
Oh yeah, and I had it scheduled for noon, so I just had to turn on the live. So it's live, so anything, if you don't want to be on camera, that's totally fine.
No, I'm fine with this.
Okay. Well, some people are shy, and I don't want to be like,
Well, it's so funny if you watch our videos, you see my daughter, because I'm always the one with the camera, but we're partners.
I know, I was like, who is this lady, right? And you're all turned around in every video. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
You don't get to see me half the time, but it's just because I like holding the camera.
Yeah,
Okay.
and like, we're just super casual, right? Like, okay, whoever's here so far, how many people are here? Okay, if there's a couple hundred people here so far,
Holy.
we're in my shop today. We're about to meet an owl. What's her name? Amber?
Amber.
Funny story about that name, but I'll tell you later. It was just how the universe works.
Yeah.
And we both thought of something the other day, and it was all, the person that we were thinking about has the same name, and it was just like, the universe, like, what are you doing to us?
Okay, you want to hear how she got her name?
Sure. Oh, wait.
Hi,
And this is,
Anita.
go ahead.
I'm from the Falconry experience. Here you go.
Falconry experience here in Paso, Robles, where what do you do?
So we have a program called Wings and Wine. You come out to a small little tiny vineyard in Paso, and it's like the best wine. If you get a headache from drinking wine, or you get a stuffy nose from drinking wine, you won't. You won't even get a hangover, because he puts nothing on the ground, nothing on the plants, nothing in the wine.
Ooh, nice.
And the wine I've turned people onto red wine at this place.
Yeah, you might have to do that to me. What's the wine called?
It's Via Vega.
Via Vega.
And they're literally across the street from me, which is not why we chose it. It's because that's the wine I drink.
Yeah.
So our clients meet us out there. We have 4 people total, because I don't want it to be so busy that people don't have a great experience.
Right.
And we introduce them to a bunch of birds, and then the last bird that we take out, we go walking through the vineyard, and he flies, and he follows us, and he flies to their glove, and then we do that through the...
And he flies through?
Yeah.
I've seen that. I was like...
Like, he only needs about this much space. That's it. And when he comes through feet first, and a lot of times he'll be like, right here, right? So his feet are going whoosh right past their faces.
I know.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Can't wait. Okay, so everybody, what we're doing here, in case you don't know, is she has the falconry experience.
Yep.
She's going to introduce us to an owl, and we're going to give her this for her wildlife fundraiser,
Which I'm so excited about. Seriously, just found out that she lived here through her TikTok, and then was like, hey, that cutting board is cool.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, you have birds. Yes, we're instant friends. So, I don't know how you want it to work, however you want it to work.
Let me go grab her, because she
Okay.
is the sweetest thing.
Okay.
But I'll tell you the story of how we named her, too.
Okay, great.
It's funny.
So she's going to, am I going to hold the owl? I don't know, but I hope so.
Will you hold this?
Okay. So I'm not sure, but I want to hold the owl. I really hope so. I really hope so. So we're trying to set this up because I couldn't turn it around for my mysterious partner to video it. I couldn't turn the camera around. But anyways, yeah. So she went to go get the owl. I'm going to set this up here. So excited. Setting you up. Who else is here? She went to go get the owl. Thank you, Red Owl. I appreciate that. And behind me, I have some of the things that I made. You need a place to set her?
Surely. So all our birds travel in these custom-made little travel boxes. And this is Amber's, only Amber's box. She's the only one who gets it. Hi, baby. What's going on, my friend?
She has a little fan on top.
It's all climate controlled.
Oh my god.
So they have air exchange. Whoa, whoa. Hi, stay here. So Amber was hit by a car. You can see how that eye's really cloudy.
How did she get hit by a car?
They chase after little mice and they don't. They're so, owls are so, how do I say this nicely? Rudimentary
Oh.
in the way they think.
They just
Yeah.
focused on that mouse.
There's not much room for a brain inside that little head. I know it looks like a big head, but it's all fluff.
Oh my god, she's so cute.
But then, so they have this little orbital bone that goes around their eye, and when they get hit by a car, it'll break and it will concuss their eyes. So this eye is blind. This eye, her pupil is blown, so she can't see very well.
Oh, okay.
And
Does she smell or what does she?
they don't have a sense of smell at all, like at all.
Wow. What
So
do you-
it's all just eyesight.
Get her close just a little bit. There we go. Perfect.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I just want
Oh.
to make sure she's in there.
Oh look,
There you go.
there it is.
Yeah, we're
I
holding
love
it up.
I love your tripod.
That's
That
right.
is.
I left my other one in the work truck, so this is what I've been using on down here.
So when we first got her, she didn't have a name. She came from a rehab place. She's a permanent resident. She can't be released. And we were doing the grand opening over at Ancient Owl Beer Gardens in San Scudero.
Yeah, yeah.
And we came out with her and they're like, what? And they were freaking out. They're like, what's her name? And I'm like, she doesn't have a name. They just happen to be pouring Amber Bria.
Okay.
that's
So that's how she
cool.
got her name.
That's a great name. So.
So
And it fits her.
beautiful.
She's so cute. So you guys just stick out your finger. And she tries to fly, but she doesn't realize that she can't see where she's flying. So,
Oh my god. Look at how cute she is. Can I touch her?
yeah, you can like. She's
Hi, little baby.
she's so. Where are you going? So that behavior is called baiting, and it's just basically, you know that term
She's
waiting on
scared.
bated breath.
Yeah.
So that comes from when a bird baits and they come back and they're tired. That is bated breath.
Oh.
So, and like, okay, so when you say, I got them under my thumb,
Yeah.
when in falconry we put their jesses, their leash, under our thumb,
Oh, to kind of hold them there.
yeah, and then we wrap it around our little finger. And that's where those terms came from.
Wow.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Things that we do and say all the time. I know. Is she not the
so
cutest
soft.
thing?
So Tale as Young as Time says, I have the same vision as the owl.
Aww.
And iconic.
Look at her
Iker Manzo,
turn.
she's so tiny and cute.
She looks
And
like
she's actually, for a screech owl, she's pretty big.
Oh, she's a
Oh,
screech
she's a
owl.
screech
She's a screech owl. So you find these guys around here. So I don't know what scientists did these studies, but 27 minutes after the sun sets is when screech owls start talking to each other. And they will locate each other. So they make this little
Wow.
screeching sound. And that's how you'll find them. I've never seen one in the wild, ever. Because they're so well camouflaged.
Wow. Yeah, she looks like a tree. Oh my god.
Oh, she's like,
I hope that she likes me.
Try and turn
She's
her
going to
around.
sleep.
Let everybody see her. If you don't mind.
She's so adorable.
They grab the
Yeah, I'll grab it.
camera off of there, so
And then you help me out
I
with
just
that.
don't wanna
Oops,
scare her.
sorry.
just don't want to scare her.
You let me know. Is it good?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You
Yeah.
can see her perfectly.
Look at how cute she is.
And she does have those little feathers. She just keeps them down.
I can
Oh.
But
see.
these are actually attached to nerves that are attached to their hearing. So they do use them to hear.
Okay, when they're like really trying to listen.
Yeah, and they'll put them up and that catches the vibration.
Wow. Look
So
at how
she's so
beautiful.
adorable.
She's so beautiful, and she's closing this eye. Is she tired?
She's just comfy.
My dog does this. So, oh my God, she is so cute.
And the reason they can move their head like that, first of all, they have like twice as
All the
many
way-
vertebrae. We have 7. Mammals have 7. Even giraffe only have 7. They
Okay.
have 14, but they have one called the atlas and one called the axis. So, axis, atlas.
Can she do a full 360?
No, it didn't unscrew and fall off. She can do 290 this way
Uh-huh.
and 180 this way. So she can turn her head completely upside down.
Oh wow.
Which, when they do it, adorable.
I bet.
Completely adorable. The camouflage to me is the craziest
Oh my
thing.
gosh, she is so beautiful. I'm like almost afraid to touch her just
I know.
because she's so little, and I bet you this bird could tear me apart, but she feels so
Yeah,
delicate.
when she does grab, it's like you get these little needle pokes in your, like I always have little.
Yeah, she's
holes.
poking me a little bit. Turn the camera a little bit that way. There you go. On the bird, yeah.
Sorry.
She is poking me a little bit, but not breaking my skin,
Yeah.
which is my cat's done worse.
I know, right?
Just picking him up.
I'm like, people are like, oh, you pick it up barehanded? I'm like, whatever. I mean, I have scars.
I'm sure you do.
Secretaries get carpal tunnel, animal trainers get scars. That's just what we do.
Taylor's youngest time asks, is Amber kept isolated or with other birds?
No, she is isolated. Raptors don't get along with other raptors normally. The only species that we have here in the U.S. that live in family groups are Harris hawks, and they actually hunt in packs. So when you come out for our experience, the bird that we fly is a Harris hawk because they're like, oh, you're in my bedding now.
Mm-hmm.
And they just see you as part of the family. And so it's all cooperative.
Oh wow.
Oh, and then after we play with birds, then we go drink wine.
Oh.
And we, 90% of the time, it's just my clients and the winemaker. So you get to learn all kinds of stuff about.
Oh, you get a very personal experience with the winemakers.
Yeah.
See, everybody has to go check out. You guys all need to check out the Falconry experience. She's on here. This is how we met, and we only live like not too far from each other, so it's really cool. Oh my gosh, go have a wine experience and check out these birds.
Yeah, it's on Airbnb. I'm allowed
Okay.
to say
Yeah,
that.
I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
How do we get a hold of you? How do
So,
we
on our website-
have fun with you?
On our website, you can book Monday through Thursday. Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays, you have to book through Airbnb, because that's
No, is that booking a whole stay?
no, it's just the experience. So it's like, it says 2 hours, but it's really like 2.5.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes
Okay.
3, depending on how engaged you get with the winemaker and how much wine we end up drinking. But
Oh,
we
we
have
did the little cool
I know.
thing.
Well, because their eyes are so big, there's no room for muscles. So instead of moving their eyes and expanding and contracting, they do this to see where you are in perspective to what's behind you.
Oh wow.
And that's why they can move their head so much. But what's even crazier is that their ears are this one is up high and forward. No, yeah. One's up high and forward, the other one's down low and back. And if you were to look inside this ear, if she were to let you, which she won't,
Right.
you would see the back of her eyeball. I know, creepy and intriguing all at the same
The
time.
back of her eyeball.
Yeah, because they stick out so much.
Oh my god.
But so the reason their ears are like that is so that they can triangulate better. Look, the camera's over here, my friend. But they triangulate sound better, and that way they can hear everything. And just hold on to those.
Okay.
And then if she goes anywhere, she's not going
That
far.
way she won't fall or whatever. Look at her moving her
But
head.
so she does see a little bit out of that eye. So she's trying to figure out
Where am I?
where am I and how high can I go.
And it smells like wood dust on me. Oh my gosh. she
But
is
those
so
little
cute.
whiskers by her beak
Yeah.
are because they don't see close up at all.
Oh.
And so when they have food at their feet, they can't see it. So they feel with those little
Oh, wow,
whiskers.
they're like little
So
finders.
just touch them and she'll open her beak. Usually.
She gave a little. She did a little.
She's like, is that food?
Uh huh.
Not food.
Oh my god, she's just so cute.
Oh, boop.
That's okay.
I know, she's so adorable. And this is really cool too. So when you perch, you want 2 toes in front, 2 toes in back like parrots do.
Okay.
But when you're a raptor, you want 3 toes in front and 1 toe in back, and you grab and then stabilize. So owls, because they do a lot of sitting around, have this, 2 toes in front, 2 toes in back, but then they can take that toe and rotate it forwards.
Oh wow.
So
So
that
that
they-
could be a front or a back toe.
Yeah. And only owls and osprey can do that.
Wow, I've never
Oh.
even known that much about
It's like the craziest.
owls.
And because they
Yeah.
hunt at night, they have little feathers all over their feet and
I've really only seen like hoot owls.
the barn
The-
owls
Yeah. Yeah.
and great horns.
I'm sure that's probably not even their name. A
No,
hoot owl.
that's all right. People always are like, I have a chicken hawk. I'm like, the rest of us we live in the country, so I get it.
That's Looney Tunes.
Wow, she is just
Mike
beautiful.
Barrow is back, and he said, wood in hand, now bird in hand.
You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, tune in to see what's in my hand next.
Tale as Young as Time says Amber wondering why she's at Home Depot.
She's actually when we first got her, you have to spend all this time like bonding with her. And so she would sit on my shoulder while I watched TV, and then when she was done, she would go whoop, and she would get inside my sweatshirt.
Aww.
And she would just burrow in there, and it was I had the worst job ever.
Oh my god. Yeah,
do.
totally do.
Sorry about the camera work. I'm trying to help, and I don't want to make anybody sick. Sorry. Telling everybody.
Yeah.
Dancing.
I mean, if you ever need anybody to come help with the birds.
Bird sit.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say.
Yeah, we're probably gonna have a rebuilding party after this storm.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure we could, if you like, organize some people to get out there and help.
It's kind of crazy.
It is kind of crazy.
All my friends that don't live in the state, they're like, "Is it really that bad?"
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
Aren't you loud for you?
It is.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you so much for bringing her.
She's one of our favorites. She actually lives in an enclosure on my front porch because I want to keep an eye on her all the time. And we can't like change her furniture because when you're used to flying from one end of your cage to the other.
Yeah, you don't see very well.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Poor baby.
Aw.
So she has and we have to feed her in the same spot. If I put the mouse somewhere else, she's like trying to find her food.
Now, is it a live mouse?
No.
Or- no.
No. Okay, I don't know if you've ever heard of Lane Laboratories. They're like a Roy Grande.
No.
They are one of the largest producers of mice for the food, like
The
I
feeder
say
mice?
food. Yeah, feeder mice.
Okay.
They donate
Oh wow.
mice to us, and I get freezers full of mice
Wow.
from them every 2-3 weeks, and then we buy quail that are frozen also
Uh-huh.
because the falcons all
See?
need.
Quail, huh? You
Yeah.
look like you're gonna fly away, baby. But I was
She's
holding
all
on.
wet too. It was
Aw,
raining when
look
we
how
got ya.
Cute she is. Oh my gosh.
Well, where are you going? You can't see. You can't fly if you can't see.
Oh my
Aw.
God. I would snuggle this bird.
I know, right? Just watch TV with her on your shoulder and.
Oh yeah. Just my hen is snuggly enough.
Sorry.
It's okay.
And they get all their warmth through their feet.
Do they?
Yeah.
Now, does she have to stand on like a heated
No,
perch?
because she's native. So, it doesn't matter how cold it gets, how warm it gets.
She's acclimated to it.
They're adapted for it.
What a beautiful girl.
Is she the only owl you have?
No, actually, we have 2 barn owls, Luke and Luna. And then we have a Eurasian eagle owl, and they're the largest species of owl.
Oh my God.
And if you go onto our TikTok, you'll see pictures of him. He is about this big. He has orange, like pumpkin orange eyes. It's,
Really?
oh my, they're so intense.
I see. I've watched a lot of your videos already, but I'm gonna have to go back.
He is like a snuggle bug. Like he gets offended if you don't pull him in and hug him. And if you don't do it, like if you're that standoffish person that's like, ah, he will like try to fly off. He's like, no, apparently you don't like me, so I won't like you. Where are you going, Amber? Chill, my friend.
Oh God, she's so
I just love her.
Yeah, she is just so beautiful.
So
Wow.
owls in the U.S. don't have red in their iris colors. So you'll see grays and you'll see yellows. But in Europe, they have red in their irises. So
Oh,
you'll see
wow.
everything from brown to bright orange.
Is it just the different birds from different places?
Yeah. So now you can look at an owl and decide if it's from North America or from somewhere else.
Okay. Wow.
Fantastic.
It's kinda crazy.
And so you do have a TikTok account.
We do.
We do.
It's at Falconry Life.
At Falconry Life, just like that. Okay.
And it's so funny because when I first started, I had like 12 people, like I didn't think anything of it. And we put on a video and it went viral. But I didn't ask the people
Right.
if I could put the video on. I didn't think anything of it.
Right.
And so then they were at our place because they were supposed to get married. It was in the middle of COVID, so they had to cancel their wedding, but they had this trip planned, so they just came to Paso anyways. So they did the experience. They brought their family back a year later. And when they showed up, I'm like, have something to confess. And she goes, we know. And my heart's like, duh, 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 duh.
Right.
And she goes, and we love it. I'm like, oh, God.
Oh yeah.
God.
Instant relief.
They bring back people every single year.
So you do weddings there?
We do weddings. We do ring bearer delivery.
From the birds?
From the bird. And
Oh
we
my
have
God.
the bride and groom put their arms in like a heart.
Okay, I've seen that on your TikTok.
Yeah, and they fly through and deliver the rings. Only once have we actually delivered the real rings. Usually it's a fake ring.
Right.
And we do
You
the whole
never know.
switcheroo.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's Ranger, who is our top hair sock. He is so stable. Like most birds, we have what we call a flight range. So you don't want them skinny because you have no energy. You can't fly if you're skinny. But you don't want to be fat either because you have no energy if you're fat. We want them in that little sweet spot. And with birds, it's depending on the size of the bird, it's a pretty small range. And as they build up muscle, of course, that weight goes up. So we weigh them every day. We weigh their food every day. Most hair stocks have about a 10 to 20 gram range. Ranger is such a pig that he could be 200 grams overweight.
Oh my God.
And he'll still be like, no, let's go. And he will eat until food is coming out of his mouth. And he's still like, let's go. I'm like, swallow. You have to swallow.
It sounds like me.
He's so...
On a Friday night.
He's so like such a pig, but he loves figuring things out. He loves interacting with people. So he's like our perfect experience bird, and he does the ring delivery service, which is just always
That's
awesome.
so awesome.
We have a question. Why do you or what do you think of the snowy owl seen in Southern California
That is
recently?
the craziest thing ever.
Okay.
But we've seen this more and more where birds are appearing in places where they shouldn't, and I think this is a lot to do with climate change.
Yeah.
And migration patterns getting off whack. Because we do have snowy owls in Alaska. So it's not unusual for them to migrate in the northern part of the U.S. But to find it all the way in Southern California, it got off course somehow.
Okay.
Can it survive?
Sure.
In this? Oh, okay.
Sure. As long as it's not the summer.
Yeah.
They can't handle the heat. They're so, where are you going? They just can't, they can't get rid of enough heat to.
Oh, they get too hot.
They get too hot.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
They have so many feathers per square inch. It's kind of crazy. It's like African penguins are being found on the tip of South America
Oh wow.
because they're like migrating and
They're like, oh, there's land.
there's land and it's the whole wrong continent.
Oh, geez.
So, people don't realize that like animals live in like 100-year cycles. We live in a 1-year cycle. So it's like winter, fall, summer, we just do that.
Right.
Animals live in these 100-year cycles where their populations go up and down, their prey populations go up and down, and the way things move, it's like 100 years. And that's a lifetime for us.
Right. Yeah.
So people go, well, this one guy called me and he's like, I had quail all over my property. It was so beautiful. I love watching the quail. And now I have a fox, and the quail are gone. And he goes, well, most of the quail. I go, well, the dumb quail,
That are waiting around to get eaten by the fox. Yeah.
the ones that get eaten. And he's like, well, how do I get rid of this fox? I go, you don't.
Why would you want to?
I go, enjoy the fox. The quail will be back.
Mm-hmm.
It'll get to the point where there's not enough quail for that fox. The fox will move on. The quail will move back. You'll have your quail again.
Yeah.
I said, you just have to wait like 10 years.
If we could stop interfering with the animals.
exactly. Exactly. What are you doing?
Well, we will make sure to tag you and promote you. Thank you so much for sharing her with us.
Absolutely.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
so much fun.
Yeah, anytime you need a babysitter.
I'll come over with the trailer. Here, can you take them all? We have 22 birds.
Yeah, we'll just close everybody in here. We'll have a good time.
Plus my bald eagle. I've had for
God.
20 years.
Oh.
He's seriously the love of my life.
Is he really tall?
No, he's tiny. He's an East Coast bald. So if he were standing here, he'd be about this tall.
Okay.
He's like 6 to 7 pounds. The ones around here are anywhere between 12 to 20 pounds.
You're big.
So on the East Coast, they're much smaller.
The only ones that I've seen in person were at Lake San Antonio and then in the Santa Barbara Zoo. And the one in the Santa Barbara Zoo was like 4 to 5 feet tall.
Yeah, they're huge. Well, imagine if this is only 6 pounds, how big 20 pounds is. So,
Oh, geez. Yeah, that's a big
and I've
bird.
held 20-pound birds.
What have you put about condors? I mean, how big are they in relation?
I think they're the largest wingspan we have here in the U.S.
Right.
And they're like, I think 15 to 25 pounds, depending. So the females are always bigger. The males are always smaller. Like when I got him 20 years ago, I was thankful because he only weighs 6
You
pounds.
can hold them.
Yes, because he was a boy, so he was little. Because we do it on our left arm, because you need your right hand. So I feel like a fiddler crab sometimes. Like these muscles are huge. On my right hand, which should be huge. It's like wimpy.
Right.
You know, because you're holding, and it's not in a position that you're used to holding. So it's like engaging muscles and tendons you don't normally.
Yeah.
So people will pick him up and they're like, oh my, and they get the speed wobbles. You know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, they'll go, can I pick him up? I'm like, physically, I don't think you can.
Wow. I bet you can really arm wrestle then.
Yeah, this way. Yeah, we've been together for 20 years, so he's like,
what's his name?
SOTUS. It stands for Symbol of the United States.
Oh,
Of course.
SOTUS.
And how long will your eagle live?
60 years. He is 30.
60 years.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah. And of course, you know, in the wild, 25, I think the oldest bald eagle in the wild was 40 when it passed away. But in captivity, they live at least 50% longer because they have perfect food and vets and, you know, like he got sick and he was at the vet immediately. And
I had no idea a bird would live 60 years.
I know, right? Well, I also have a macaw as a pet.
Oh, and those live like to be 100, don't they?
Yeah.
So what is these birds' secret?
Right? Slower metabolism. And you eat mice? No.
No.
But so my daughter is like, I get everything, don't I? And I'm like, that is why you're my business partner.
Yeah, you got to take care of the kids. That's amazing.
You want to go in that hole? It looks like a good spot under there.
I don't know if we have mice in here. We have about 23 stray cats.
Oh, that's
From an older gentleman that passed away in November at his shop here. And so we've been feeding them in connection with the feline network.
Yeah.
So they bring us food and we've been feeding them. And so we can see like a bunch of beautiful kitties every day.
And they eat all the mice.
Yeah, we've never had a mouse here.
My daughter got a cat at the pound just to eat mice because we live on a ranch.
Yeah.
It's 40 acres. So it's inevitable that you'll get mice. And that cat, if you open up the grate over the air conditioner ducts, that cat will run in there and under the house and catch all the mice.
Oh, good kitty.
And go under the house and then come back out again.
Well, you know where to find barn cats if you need any.
I don't. I have like birds on my property.
Oh, yeah. Why would you
birds.
need cats? I bet your birds would look down on the cats too, like peasants.
I had one bird. Well, I still have him. He's one of my breeders now. He's like 28 right now. But he knew our chickens and he knew our cats, and he wouldn't even look twice at them. But if a neighbor's chicken wandered onto our property and I was flying him, he would grab it. Like that, you do not belong. He was so fun. It is pouring down rain.
It is. So just one more time, what are we doing here? And who do we have?
Here, so we can have us all three in the camera here.
Okay,
so
here we go.
have an owl from the Falconry experience. This lady here's Bird. Go ahead and tell.
So we have a bunch of birds that we do falconry experiences with. We take people out, we fly birds. They get to hold a variety of birds. They learn all about the sport of falconry, which is the sport of kings. It's been around for like 6,000 years. They learn about natural history, conservation, and then we do a fundraiser every year that all the money goes to conservation projects. Right now we're working on fixing a bunch of these things called guzzlers, which is in the desert. They're like artificial ponds that the quail and animals come to drink at. And for some reason, the people that like to go ATVing in the desert like to take baseball bats to them. And so we are that's one of our projects, we're going to be fixing those guzzlers. Because those animals are having a hard time. Probably not right now because of the rain, but we try to keep populations stable with the amount of human interferences there is. So
Right. And so she's brought her bird here, her owl here, to meet us, and we were donating one of those Drunken Cutting Boards that I made to their conservation raffle.
Yes. And I'm so excited. We have about 400 falconers that come in every year. We meet at one place, and then we have this huge raffle. I think last year we raised about $30,000. So
awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's a great way to do it because everybody feels like they got something out of it.
Right.
But they also know that their money is going towards something really cool. And that we just got permission. We're still working on it. It's through the Senate and everything, but permission to take in peregrines that are injured so that falconers can fly them and get them back on the way.
Oh.
Because of a California law, the peregrine is extremely protected. And the law exempt falconers from interfering with peregrines. Well, the peregrine population has recovered so well in our state that they actually stopped doing studies. They stopped counting.
Oh, they're like,
They're back.
There's no point.
There's no point. They're just doing great. But because of the law, falconers aren't allowed to even they're putting down peregrines. Like peregrines that nest in inappropriate places, they'll grab them and put them down. And we're like, why not give them to falconers? We'll fly them, we'll hunt them, they'll be flying free, doing what they're supposed to be doing, and choosing whether or not they come back. And if they choose not to, well, hey, they at least have the skills to survive.
Right.
So that's what I think it's been an 8-year process of working on that.
My goodness.
Just getting to that point, and we're so close. And now they're like, well, we need a study on numbers. And we're like, we just stopped doing studies. Like, just 2 years ago, stopped doing studies. We're like, oh my God, I'm going to do it all over again. Like, worth it to protect the peregrines.
Well, we wish we could write you like a big check or something, but I can't.
That is amazing.
But I can donate. If you want to show them what we're donating to as our chip in for this conservation project. Drunken Cutting Board.
I was like, of course, trying to figure out exactly how you made them the first time I saw them, and then watching you make them, I'm like,
It makes total sense, right? Even though it seems like,
yeah, you're like, how do you get those up? Once I saw it, I'm like, oh, they're matching sets, they're opposites, because you just tape them together and they cut them as a set, and then just
and that's the key part of it, is because otherwise, they have to be exact, or they just don't go together.
Right. And that's what I couldn't figure out. I'm like, how do I get those cuts perfect? And I think that's the hardest part about woodworking, is figuring out how you want your pattern to be and how to put your wood in the way that pattern's going to come out correctly.
Right.
And so, just a little back, I love woodworking, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was very busy working. He started an electronics firm in Silicon Valley in the 60s. And so the only way I could get time with my dad was to go, Dad, I have this project.
Oh, okay.
And then he would, as he was doing it, teach me.
Well, yeah, he was interested in helping you in your project.
Yeah,
that's really
so
awesome.
Literally that's how I learned to do all the woodworking.
Oh, wow.
And so I have all of his old tools, everything that he's ever done, even at the projects that were half finished when he passed away. So I'm going to finish those projects. But just looking at his projects and the stages that they were in, and he took meticulous notes on everything.
Oh, that's awesome.
So he has this whole book of everything that he's done and how he did it, which is the secret.
Yeah. A lot of woodworking is engineering how you're going to make it, and you have to engineer it from finished product all the way back to what steps to take first.
So it's funny that you say it that way, because when you're training animals, you do the same thing.
Okay.
So you look at what you want your finished product to be. Like, if you want your dog to sit when people come in the door and stay. So you want your dog to sit and stay.
Right.
Well, how do you get there?
Right.
So we work our way back in steps, and we do the same thing. It's the completion backwards principle.
Okay.
You start with your end product, figure out how to get to your end product by stepping back.
Okay.
And then so it's the same thing.
Yeah, and so we're a lot alike in that mentally, because you can see what you need to do and the steps to take, and then I can see what, like, let's say a cabinet or a project is going to look like done, and plan for each step, and then know what steps should be done at what time.
Yeah.
So
That's the same.
It's very similar.
It is really similar.
And it's totally awesome to meet another woodworker. I'm sure that
one of my many,
your many talents.
Yeah.
Drinking wine and having birds is not her only talent.
And how fun is that we get to play with birds and then drink wine, and then I'm done by noon on the days that we do those.
I wish I was just playing with birds. I love my job and I love what I do, but these are just so beautiful.
The funniest thing is, when we first started getting this rain, all my birds were like out in the rain, taking showers
and stuff.
Yeah. And now they're sitting in the covered areas looking at, and they have grumpy face on. They're like, I am done with this weather. I'm like, I know, me too.
Same with our dog.
We have a hello from Florida.
Yay.
Oh, that's Alba. Hello, Alba, if you're still here.
Yes, and then we have a thanks for sharing this. Crazy how many falconers show up. We need to protect falconers at all costs.
Yes,
We do.
and wildlife.
Yeah.
Amy is so talented, y'all.
Thanks, Sandra. We work together. Might be biased.
That board is worth more than a monetary donation.
Thank you, Tail
It
Young,
is.
this time.
And that you're so lucky. So this is great. Oh, and Mike Burrow says that the East Coast, they aren't small on the East Coast.
No.
You guys were talking about the East Coast Eagles, though.
Yeah. I mean,
bald
okay,
eagles.
small in relative to bald eagle size. But yeah,
There you
I
go.
mean, a 6-pound bald eagle as opposed to a 20-pound bald
Yeah.
eagle, that's a big difference.
Excellent.
I'm all quiet over here. I don't know anything about bald eagles except they're beautiful.
Okay, so I'll tell you, I've trained 20 bald eagles in my career. And they are, everybody thinks of bald eagles as being these like big, majestic, and totally like amazing birds. They are the biggest scaredy cats that ever were.
Really?
Ever. Like literally, okay, so you know how we have those hoods that we put on falcons?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so that is, it actually lowers your cortisol levels because,
Like a stress thing?
yeah, it just like, whoa, they go, whoa, right? When you put it on. So we always teach, except for owls, we teach all of our birds to hood in case you have to do a medical procedure.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
you don't want them to stress out, and if they can't see it coming,
Yeah.
you know, then it's easier and less stressful for them. Well, my bald eagle, his hood is like his blanket, and
Aw.
he has to see it at all times. So if I take him into a situation that is possibly stressful for him, where there's a lot of people, as long as he can see his hood, he's okay. And then when he gets stressed, this is so cute. When he gets stressed, I hold it up and he dives his head into it. And I don't even have to tighten it, so he can see through the nose crack. And he'll be looking at people, but he's like, shh, they can't see me. He's like the little kid under the table. And then when I see him like, and his feathers go down and he calms down, I'll take it off, but he has to be able to see it at all times.
Oh my god.
But yeah, change your hat, change your clothes. They're all like, ah! But yeah, change your hat, change your clothes. They're all like, ah! I don't know who you are.
You're in disguise. That is so amazing.
Oh, she is so sweet.
Look at her. I know.
I love her.
Yeah.
She's definitely the biggest hit we have.
Is she?
Yeah.
We have one.
She's just so chill. Or-
She's so chill. She's just so. You just want to squeeze her.
She's little. Yeah, but not too little.
Wolfie says, I want to kiss that little owl.
Right?
Yeah. Just
Don't we
so
all?
I
cute.
never do.
Yeah. Bring a bald eagle next time.
Okay.
Exclamation
I have to
point.
wait. I just had a hip replacement and then had
Yeah.
herniated disc on the other side. So
Oh, jeez.
I'm not walking well. So my poor bald eagle gets no time right now. It's a lot to be able to carry him around.
Yeah, I bet.
Aw.
What? Any?
So if you're in the Visalia area, anywhere near the Wyndham Hotel, there will be about anywhere between 200 and 400 falconers there. And we will have birds out on this big grass area so you can come and check out all the birds. It's
Ooh.
amazing.
that's
It's absolutely
great.
phenomenal. Yeah.
You'll
Oh.
have to give us some. You'll have to make some info that we can post about it or something.
Okay. And
Yeah,
I will.
we'll share about
I'm
it.
going to be going live
Oh, okay, great.
from the meet because it's amazing. I mean, there's so many birds, and you know, we get falconers. We're the largest club in the country outside of the national club, so we get falconers from all over the country. They come to our meet because it's so big, and it's so awesome because you get to see birds that you just don't see anywhere else.
Yeah.
Like a friend of mine is flying a Siberian goshawk. Look it up. Google it. Just Google it.
Goshawk?
Goshawk. Siberian goshawk. We have North
Is
American
that
goshawk.
real crazy looking one with the?
They
big-
have like these stripes that come off of their eyebrows, straight back, and they look dead, and they are dead serious, but they're white.
Oh
They're
my god.
gorgeous. And then I have a friend who flies golden eagles, and people are like, "Why don't you have a golden eagle?" I'm like, "Because they're like pissed off dragons all the time."
They're
They're
not
like,
that nice. Huh?
"Hi, I love you. Let me cuckoosh." I have
Yeah.
a friend who has scar on her face from being taken down.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
Taken down.
Because a guy walked by that eagle didn't like. Because eagles are very particular about their people. And so the eagle just went, ba-bam! And he couldn't help her because the eagle hates him. So she's laying on the ground with this eagle on her face. And I will tell you, because I've been grabbed by an eagle, you have to wait for them to let go. You can't move because if you think of it in terms of prey, when the prey wiggles, they clamp down harder.
Harder.
So you have to, no matter how much it hurts, you have to just sit as still as you possibly can and let them let go, and then get yourself out.
Let them calm down. Huh?
The nice part is you don't bleed while they're in you.
Right.
But
Wow.
they have 300 pounds per square inch. They can literally break your bone without putting a hole in you.
My
It's like German
goodness.
Shepherd bite.
Jeez.
So yeah, so that's why I don't have one. 'Cause, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is much better.
Yeah.
She's so much nicer than a giant, mean, pissed off dragon.
Yeah.
And so where are you going to be again next week?
Visalia.
Visalia?
Visalia, yeah.
Okay.
And if you come by the meet, like Thursday or Friday morning, we have the Sky Trials. We don't usually know where that's going to be until the last minute. It's a big competition held only in 2 places in the country, Utah and California, once a year. And it is a contest to see whose bird can go the highest, the fastest, dive the best, and catch a pigeon, which is faster than the peregrines. So that's always interesting. And then on Saturday, we usually have a lure flying competition, which is watching, it's like ballet between falcons and their falconers. It's amazing to watch.
Wow.
So, and those will be filmed. I will do live from those. Sky Trials is hard because those birds go up like 3,000 feet. So if you blink, you lose it. They're like specks.
How many feet? 3,000?
3,000.
Holy crap.
We have GPS on them, so we know exactly
The
where
Falcons have GPS.
they are. Yeah. Yeah. You know those GPS for dogs that are like this big?
Yeah. Oh, with a little tag. Yeah.
Ours are this big.
Oh.
And they lay on the bird's back. They clip into a little backpack that they wear, and the antenna just lays on their back, and it gives us real-time readout of exactly where they are, how high they are, what direction they're heading, how fast they're going.
This is all blowing my mind.
Each little transmitter is $750. So people always ask, well, how much does it cost to get into falconry? I'm like, oh, you just don't want to know.
You want to know how much it costs? It's probably not for you.
That's like
not for you.
equestrian.
It
Yeah.
is for me. I want to come help.
It's a lot of fun. And I think the best part about falconry is that these birds, because we're kind of like their personal trainer, they're fitter than birds in the wild. They're more successful than birds in the wild because we set them up to be successful.
Right.
They're catching bigger game than they would try for in the wild. So they have balls.
Right.
And if they fly away, if they decide to leave, that's their prerogative.
Right.
And they're capable of doing that at any time, but they go, you turn around and you start walking away and they're like, wait, where are you going?
They're all, Mom, wait.
Like, you're
Yeah.
my shelter, my food, my everything. So to me, that's the coolest part, is that you're living in their world. They're not living in yours.
Oh my gosh. So Sandra wants to know if Amber has been to Hogwarts.
She never got her letter. She never brought me a letter either.
I want my
Apparently, I
letter.
am not magical.
Damn it. Yeah,
Just a plain muggle.
yeah, that's all of us. You're welcome here anytime, bird in hand or not.
Well, come out
Yes.
sometime. We'll drink wine
We would
together,
love it.
and I'll turn you on to the best red wine you'll ever have.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I've never really had a great experience with wine. I've done wine tasting just for fun, but red wine especially does give me a headache.
Yeah, give you a headache.
Is
give
that
you
from like
stuffing.
sulfites or?
Well, there's a couple reasons. Big vineyards, when they harvest, they machine harvest, right?
Yeah,
And wasps like to eat grapes, the juice
Yeah.
out of the grapes.
right.
All those wasps end up in your wine.
Oh, so it's basically venom.
You're having an allergic reaction.
Oh.
They do pump sulfites in. Sulfites are naturally occurring in wine. Here's the problem with the California wine industry right now. Anything that naturally occurs in wine, if they add it into the wine, they don't have to tell you. So red coloring from grapes, grape juice, grape extract, tannins, oak tannins, naturally occurring, alcohol, extra sugars, like anything that they add in that is naturally occurring, sulfides, they don't have to tell you. So you don't know what's in your wine.
Right.
So
Wow.
that's why I say stick to this. You know, I love Paso because we have a ton of those little teeny vineyards everywhere.
Yeah.
And just ask. And usually the tasting room people don't know. You got to ask the vineyards, the winemaker.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you can make friends with a winemaker.
I actually did cabinets with for a guy that owns Aaron.
Oh, yeah.
Vineyards. For Aaron.
Yeah.
Him and his wife. I did
It's
her
good wine.
little salon. I've never tried it.
Oh, it's good wine.
I was busy working, but I got to try it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the best part about living in Paso is
Uh-huh.
that like you get tipped in wine.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been tipped as a notary in wine. Yeah, absolutely.
See?
Yeah.
It's, like people are like, do you have any wine you could bring to the party?
You're all.
How many bottles do you want? Let me open my cabinet.
I don't know if I want to get into my stash,
I've
though.
never been tipped in wine, but I did. The guy from the shop over did give us a few free 12 packs from Firestone.
Oh, yeah.
I guess they mislabeled a whole pallet of beer, so it was just up for grabs.
My son works at Firestone.
Oh, really?
fun.
And so when they have misruns like that,
Yeah.
or bad runs, or like half cans,
Yeah.
the employees get them.
Because my neighbor 2 doors down here at the shop, he works on vineyard equipment.
Yeah.
So that's really
There's
cool.
such a huge there's so many industries linked to the vineyard industry that
Oh, yeah.
people do not even like have a clue about.
Right, especially different industries like wedding industries, and
Oh my gosh.
there's so many weddings here now.
I know, it's crazy.
So we have a...
But we get great restaurants as a result. Did
Oh,
you
yeah.
notice
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
We do.
Like the restaurants used to be, mom and pops, and now they are like really good
We get-
Michelin star type restaurants.
We
Right,
get
right.
hotels, too. We've never had hotels around here.
Right? I mean, I
Hotels.
remember our first Starbucks.
Right?
And first sushi restaurant.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
what was it? Toshi's? No,
No.
Goshi's.
Goshi.
Yeah.
And the
Goshi.
first time I go in there, and there's these 3 cowboys at the bar with their spurs and their dirty boots still on. And my mother-in-law is like, who's going to eat sushi here in Paso? And
Everybody,
All the
Me?
trans...
everybody.
Yeah. It was awesome.
Yeah. Oh.
And I still go to Goshi because it's...
That
So
was our
good.
favorite.
Melts in your mouth. Did you say we had a question?
We did. How old is Amber?
That is a really great question. We have no idea because
Oh,
she was
okay.
an adult. So birds go through what we call passage plumage and then adult plumage. When they hatch, from the time they hatch till they're fully flighted is 8 weeks. They're fully feathered, ready to go at 8 weeks. That plumage that they have, their tail is slightly longer. It's like training wheels.
Uh-huh.
Their plumage is a little bit more different. That was really awesome.
More differenter.
More differenter.
It's okay.
Not from Brown Robles. It's different. It's more camouflage. They have more spots and speckles and stuff like that. And then when they become a year old, they molt that out and they get their adult plumage. So once they're in their adult plumage, there's no way to know. She was in her adult plumage when we got her.
She doesn't have rings we could count.
No, I mean, I guess we could cut her in half and find out.
Oh, poor baby. She's just so sweet. She's just chill.
But screech owls live about 15 to 20 years. Not
And
very
she's a
long.
screech owl.
A
She's a-
screech
yeah.
owl. Look
Western screech owl.
Western screech owl.
There
This
are
is-
eastern screech owls, and they look completely different. I mean,
Really?
basically the same, but they're not even related.
She's repping the West Coast here. Left Coast, the West Coast.
It is the best coast.
We are.
It's not today.
Yeah.
We have a thank you so much for this experience.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
Yeah, this is amazing.
This is so much fun.
Yes, this is a lot of fun. Thank you. Oh, she's so sweet. Thank you, Amber.
And now you have poop all over your fingers.
That's okay. Poop on my finger is worth it. I can wash my hand. But I would never have gotten a chance to hold a bird like this in my hand.
And and that is honestly where it all started, was when I first started working with animals. I'm like, if I can love it, why can't anybody love it?
Huh, yeah.
And if the animal loves other people, like is that gregarious,
Right.
why not?
Well, yeah. And I've always thought it was super special to have any kind of relationship with an animal because
Yeah.
we're not even, we can't even talk to each other. We don't know each other's intentions.
Yeah.
It's just like soul to soul. It's like
It
I
is.
can feel that you're cool,
And it's all body language. And I think once you get to touch something, I mean, seeing it on television, okay, yeah, oh, that's bummer, lions are disappearing or whatever,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
bummer. And then you see one at a zoo and you're like, oh, now I really care because that animal has a name. It's the Shamu factor, actually, is what we call it.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody knew about killer whales, and now we call them orcas, which cracks me up.
Right.
And then they're amazed when they kill something. I'm like, it's not a hug whale.
It's not Flipper.
But because of SeaWorld, we all fell in love with killer whales. Because we saw one, we got splashed by it.
Yeah.
We saw the trainers interacting, we saw their personalities. But then you take it one step farther where you get to touch it.
Yeah.
And it's like goosebump. It's like
Yeah.
you make this weird connection and all of a sudden everything changes.
Yeah, because you feel connected to these animals. They're not just these foreign beings that you
Yeah.
don't know anything about. Like we're all here on the earth together.
Yeah.
And it's just so amazing.
And
I just
people
can't take
think
my
of-
eyes off of her.
People think of the earth and people as two separate things.
No.
And I'm like, no, we are a part of nature.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
We are a part of this
And we are
earth.
destroying it
Yeah.
actively all the
Yeah,
time.
all the time. And I figure anything we can do, every little thing that we do, like even just recycling aluminum cans, these people are like, what is one can matter? Like one can One aluminum can saves a toucan's life in the wild. One can equals a toucan.
Wow.
So every little thing, how many people are on the planet? 6 billion or something like that?
Too many.
Too many. So if each person only did one thing, that's 6 billion things being done.
Right. I know. It was great to see that when during COVID and things were shut down and their planes weren't flying, how much the earth was coming back.
Oh,
like all of a sudden. And, like the industrial age is like a blessing and a curse.
And you look at all those buildings that are empty now because people are working from home,
Yeah.
and those buildings are crazy fast getting taken over by nature. Like parking lots
the
are
ivy and stuff.
Oh my gosh, it's so crazy.
It's creepy.
It is. It's like legend all over.
We all know that the earth doesn't need us whatsoever.
No. I would say if I were to snap my fingers and all humans would fall off the face of the earth would be fine. But if I were to snap my fingers and like all the bees disappear,
oh my God,
we'd all die.
We'd be done. Yeah.
We'd be done.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're the most insignificant.
Yeah, and the most harmful.
Yeah.
Yeah, we always do our part to recycle everything
Yeah.
we possibly can.
Yeah, we do too. I try everything I do. I think the funnest thing though that I do is that I touch people's lives every day.
Yeah.
And
You bringing this experience of birds and just animals, wildlife to everybody, it's just amazing.
I think that's kind of as humans what we should be doing is like helping each other in small little ways. Whatever we can contribute to somebody else's life.
Yeah.
To give them another thing.
Right.
It's just amazing.
Yeah, when you asked if we could donate something, I was like, it's for animals? Absolutely.
I can't even tell you. Like, when you answer me back, I'm like, oh! Like, that was so... Because, my dad always taught me, you ask 10 times and hope for one. And so, and I've been on this mad crunch to get as many cool raffle prizes as I can. And that, we had a cutting board last year, and it went for like $400.
Aw.
So, I'm like, that's...
And was it just a plain one? Or what?
It was just a plain wood one.
Oh, hopefully that you get a lot out of that.
Yeah.
I hope that you do.
I mean, these people really open up their pockets. They saved up all year just to put money into the club's coffers so that we can do all these conservation projects. And I think it's really awesome.
We have so she's a screech owl, and somebody learned I did not know that a western screech was different from an eastern screech.
And they even have a different eye color. And eastern screeches come in orange, gray, brown, and brown, whereas western screech owls only come in brown and gray. Rarely will you ever see an orange-colored western screech.
That was from Trish Desmond. So thank you for the question, Trish. That was awesome.
And are they always? Is she a smaller one, or is this about the height that a screech owl is?
Yeah, and the female, she weighs about 140 grams. The males will weigh about 100 grams.
Okay, how much is that in pounds?
Okay, 444 grams per pound.
Okay,
so
okay.
Just about a quarter of a pound.
Oh, wow.
It's not bad.
No, she's not heavy.
And they're not even the smallest owl we have in the U.S. The smallest one is about this big.
Oh, my God.
Like 50 grams. I've never seen one up close.
Pocket owl.
I've never, I know, right? Just stick that.
Naomi says, I'm from the Central Coast. Happy to hear mention wineries and the 805. Have a great day and stay dry.
The 805 is where everybody wants to live, but don't come because there's enough of us.
There's enough of us.
If you guys are from the 805, come check out her place. It's Falconry Life on here on TikTok, and she's in Paso, Robles.
And we love having people, especially like people that live around us that have no idea that we're there.
Oh, yeah.
So it's fun.
Do her talons hurt you while she's sitting on your hand?
That's a great question.
No, I mean I can feel that they're kind of pricking me, but they're not breaking my skin. So no, it doesn't hurt.
It's like holding a bunch of straight pins in your hand, but you're not crunching them.
Yeah, I mean you can feel it, but it's not hurting me.
In you. Yeah.
She's not holding very tight, and she's balancing with her front and her back talons.
Yeah.
Is that the correct terminology?
And we actually use in their enclosures perches that move so that they develop their leg muscles rather than clamping onto things.
Oh, okay.
Because in the wild, everything moves.
Right.
And nothing's like flat, straight.
So maybe that's why she's getting a little sleepy because she thinks she's on a tree.
She's like, I'm just waving in the wind.
Let's see. I'm in Paso. Where can I buy one of your pieces? You can buy them by emailing me, and then I will have some up in a shop in Paso, and I'll reveal the shop on my shop drop.
That's awesome.
Yeah, are you familiar?
And that's how I figured out where she was, because she was literally at a wood place right around the corner from me. And I was like, hey, wait a second, I know that
She's
place.
like, wait, are you working at Mayan? I'm like, yes.
Which is literally the best place to get hardwoods.
Yeah, and anything else?
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, we redid the floors at our house, and I got all my floor trim there.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, and I don't know if you saw. Oh yeah, I think you did. You liked it. I put out a little video that said, we've had so much flooding here. Everybody's going to be redoing their floors, and if they don't want to spend, go to like Home Depot or something, you're going to spend more for your baseboard and things like that.
Baseboards.
Yeah, than you will at Mayan Hardwoods in Paso Robles, where this little baby lives not too far from.
I literally can see them from our property.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that is so
We're
cool.
just like,
So Miss Candy jumped on and said, how did you acquire this animal? Was it injured?
she was hit by a car.
There you go.
Owls have huge eyeballs that stick outside of their skull. And since their eyes are so large, they have a tiny little orbital bone that holds their eye into their skull. And when they get hit by a car, it'll usually fracture it and it'll cause a concussion to their eyes. So this eye is completely blind. It looks like a galaxy in there. And then this eye, her pupil is blown. You can kind of see it like on the outskirts of her eye, but that's about it. So she can see out of this eye, just not very well. So we just, everything in her environment is the same all the time, so she doesn't go flying for a perch and missing it. So.
Well, thank you.
She's pretty spoiled.
She is so cute.
She is so cute.
She's
This
one.
is Amber.
We only have 2 actual rescue birds.
Let me touch the screen because. Okay, there we go.
We have a bald eagle that was shot when he was a year old, and then we have Amber.
Aww.
The rest are all captive bred by falconers.
She's so beautiful.
And then we have breeding pairs of birds, which is so fun. They should be laying eggs right now.
Oh, really?
Exciting.
Yeah. So they all have cameras on them. I want to get one of those cameras live because watching the parents raise their babies.
Oh, like the ones in New York or wherever
Yeah.
it is? Oh, my God.
I have to figure out exactly how to do it. But they're little bobbleheads when they first hatch.
Oh, I know. I was watching for them to hatch, and I was like, oh, my God, they're so cute.
They're so cute, and they eat 5 times as much as their parents.
Oh, my God.
It's a lot of food. But my one Harris hawk, he teaches his babies manners, and when I feed, I put the food in, and I don't let them see me that I'm feeding.
Uh-huh.
And the food will appear, and then he goes over and he grabs it all up, and then the babies will try to steal food, and if a baby steals food from him, he'll wing slap him and take it back, and then give it to another one. Like,
Oh, he's like, wait your turn.
you were rude. And he teaches them all.
Weekends. But this one was, this live was to meet this little.
She's
Oh, my
so
God.
funny.
It's funny to watch them fly too, because their heads stay stable and their body goes up and down. So it's like,
We saw a bunch of birds in comparison I saw it on a TikTok, and they measured the sound that they make, and then they measured the sound that the owl makes, and there was no sound.
0.
Now, why is that?
If on her feathers, you'll see there's like serrations on her feathers.
Yeah.
They rely so heavily on their hearing once they start to fly that if their wings were to make noise, they wouldn't continue listening. So they create 0 turbulence when they fly. And as opposed to like a peregrine creates vortexes behind them. Like they create so much turbulence when they fly for speed, but these guys more like glide. And so they don't create any turbulence, thus no sound. And so they're able to listen to their prey. They can actually hear a mouse a foot underground. Like YouTube snowy owls eating lemmings, and you'll see them poof into the snow.
I'm gonna do that. The poor lemmings, but I mean, they're wild animals. They gotta eat.
Yeah. I always say there's only 5 types of animals that predators eat. The old ones, the sick ones, the hurt ones, the dumb ones. Mm-hmm. Wait, that's only 4. I forgot one.
But it could be just
Hurt ones, sick ones, dumb ones, slow ones.
Slow ones.
Yeah, dumb ones.
So it is definitely survival of the fittest.
Yep. And most birds of prey die in their first winter, 70% of them, because they've caught all the dumb ones, the sick ones, the hurt ones,
caught
the slow ones.
something from
Then
them.
when their caloric intake increases in winter and only the smart ones are left, they can't get enough food.
Gotcha.
So
They really got to challenge themselves.
it's tough out there for them. Most of the birds of prey that we find are either hurt by a man-made something, or they're just don't have enough calories in them in the winter.
Or babies.
Isn't she adorable?
Give them a protein shake.
We do, literally.
Do you?
We tube them with electrolytes and protein.
Oh my
The stuff
gosh.
called carnivore care. We stick it down into their stomach and we tube it in there, and lots of fluids. They need the electrolytes to get their
Right.
energy back. And then once they've had their little protein shake, and they start to perk up, then we start feeding them.
That sounds like me at lunch when I have my protein shake. I perk up too. Then I'm ready for all the questions that I get up there.
I know, right?
It's been great because I've been able to help a lot of people that came in and they had something they needed to do, but they weren't really sure what they needed.
Yeah.
So, and plus it's really great to talk to woodworkers, and a big thing is helping the women that come in leave there with okay, I know what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Instead of, a gentleman patting his wife on the back just yesterday was like, way to go, honey, because she made a choice. First time in there, they loved it. We had exactly what they needed, so he was happy with her. It wasn't a big ordeal. And
When we travel with our birds, we either have these, pre-made boxes, they're called hawk boxes, and they're specially designed for traveling birds. But we also travel them on what we call a cadge, which is perches in the back of their vehicles.
oh, okay.
And so my first big project that I had to go to mine for was I needed Baltic birch plywood.
Oh, okay.
And I made a whole system that had like this much space underneath, and then it had a platform, had a pull-out cutting board, and then it had pull-out perches. No metal involved. It was all grooves and the way that it all fitted in.
Yeah, like a wood runner.
Yeah, so my birds, all I had to do was open the back, pull the perch out, and my birds were just sitting on the perch. And they got to like watch the scenes go by when I was
that's
driving.
awesome.
But yeah, so it was my first big project when I went there. And you're a girl, and you walk into places like that, and I'm like, I need blah 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 blah, and they're like, really?
Are you sure you need that?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and then they look at my car and they're like, where are you gonna put that? I'm like, oh, I can put it on top. And of course, I drive home like this, But yeah, that was the first big thing I made. That's where I found them. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was looking for Baltic birch, but you can't get that at Home Depot,
No, and most people have no idea what that is.
and it's the best. Doesn't no warp to it whatsoever.
No, it's dead flat. There's no voids in it. It's like a 5-ply?
Yeah,
And it's
So
super
strong.
flat, super hardy.
yeah.
It's a little pricey, but it does the job, and you can't replicate it with anything else.
And you're not repairing things constantly or bracing things.
Right, yeah.
And I wanted to use as little metal as possible,
Right.
and it just was perfect. It turned out perfect.
That's amazing. Can we show the owl box?
Yeah, the little box.
She's got-
Sorry.
No,
It
no,
even
that's
has
okay.
our logo on the front. But it's just they just clip close. It's made out of Coroplast, which is like corrugated cardboard, but like it's made out of plastic. It has a little temperature control on the top with a fan, so we know what her temperature is. We can turn it on and off, and it blows air in there. And it has a little perch, and we just hose them out. It's the best, and it's dark in there so that it's dark for her, so
Right.
that she's not seeing a bunch of light or things going by that are gonna maybe freak her out. It just kind of calms her down. It's like it's kind of like they go into their boxes like our dogs go into the car. Like you open the car door, they're like, "Look, where are we going?"
They're like, I love that
Yeah,
spot.
the birds are like that too. So
That's awesome.
it's really cool, and it's super lightweight
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's Coroplast. So
Wow.
everything we need for falconry, there are falconry companies that's all they do. It's make falconry stuff.
We have what an awesome experience from Michael Davenport.
Michael, he bought one of the cutting boards. He's in Texas.
Oh,
Yay!
okay.
He's a good friend.
That's awesome.
Excellent. Such a beautiful owl. Cricket's creation. Sky Surfy said he's sleeping. Look at how cute.
Isn't she beautiful? She doesn't weigh much at all.
Yeah, she's tiny. And it's so much fluff. Like if you were to take all the feathers, put them on one side of the scale, and the rest of her on the other side, it would equal out. There's like
Really?
nothing in there. Nothing.
Wow.
It's just this little.
It's like when your fluffy cat gets wet and you're like, oh
You're
my
like,
god,
oh my
her
God, it
skin
looks like
and
a
bones."
chihuahua.
Yeah. She's just so beautiful. So this is a great experience, you guys. And if you guys want to be able to see birds and stuff like that. And she's got a whole experience there. You can do weddings there. Turn it back on so you can see her logo here. Oh, whoops! You touched the screen on this side.
Oh, sorry. Can you help me?
Yeah, you just got to touch it.
Boop. Thank you.
Okay.
So here we go. The Falconry Experience.
Check her out, and her name on TikTok is @Falconry Life.
Yep. Never knew that TikTok would be as big. You know,
I
it was a
didn't either.
COVID thing.
I know, and then we were all on Facebook, and I went on Facebook this morning, and I was just like, like it's just the same. Blah, blah, blah,
And I didn't see it was you that posted. I just saw, and I'm like, I feel ya. And then I saw it was you. I'm like, I completely I go on Facebook to read my brother's posts, and that's it.
Yeah, and I mean, TikTok is just so fun. You're meeting people that are doing
learning.
Learning. That's the best thing.
Holy Moses, the things I've learned.
I know I made a video about reading tape measures, and it was just brief, but some people were like, I get it. I get
that's
it.
why that thing moves. And
Yes, yeah.
yeah.
So it's been just it's so fun. Facebook, I'm over it.
I'm over it.
It's just people complaining.
Yeah.
Which, not that there's not things to complain about, but come on.
TikTok is way more engaging and more enlightening and more people helping each other out. And Facebook seems to be the place to go. My life is perfect when it really isn't.
Right.
And people bitch at each other and complain about everything.
Right.
And the negativity, I don't like it.
Yeah, and then the TikTok community is super supportive. Like, of course you get, jerks every now and then.
Every once in a while, yeah.
But, I mean, it's so supportive for whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
Just watching people craft and their art and the animals. Like, it's always showing the animal videos.
I know. I've learned so much about different types of crafts and realized the ones that I don't want to do. Because I have ADHD, so, I started a billion, finished
Yeah.
and I'm like, that's cool. No. That's a lot of work.
Well, I think we're about to wrap things up here, you guys.
Yep.
She's been kind enough to bring over her owl and let us meet her.
And she turns and looks.
Isn't she so beautiful?
I see you, Amber.
I know. This is just an experience of a lifetime here.
She's so adorable.
Just being able to hold her and touch. She's so soft.
And the camouflage. It's like, I don't get it. I don't get how the feathers figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, if she flew off, we would never be able to see her.
I've never seen one in the wild, ever.
Me either.
And I look.
Yeah. Me too. We heard an owl outside, and I'm out there looking.
I'm like, I've spotlighted barn owls and great horns before, but I've never seen a screech.
Yeah.
And I lived on 200 acres with woods and heard them every night. Could not find them.
So the only time I've seen owls in the wild is my grandpa's barn in Lompoc when he was alive, and they were way up top, and you knew they were way up top because on the ground was all these bones.
I always tell people, if you want to find owls, don't look up. Look down. Look for their castings. Look for the bones, because that's where they're sitting. And so once you find those, you just look up and they're usually there.
Wow. Mel, you see? Yeah. She's so
adorable.
It's okay if you're late, Michael.
Oh,
It's totally fine. And I'm going to post this live on my YouTube channel so that you guys can all watch if you weren't able to.
well, thank you.
Well, thank you so much, you guys, for joining. Thank you
Yeah,
so
thanks.
much to Anita
Yes,
from the
thank you.
Falconry
So much fun.
Experience.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
You ready to go back home?
Yeah,
Come here. Oh, you're so toasty.
so I got a little bit of poop on my hand, but you see, it was totally fine. Her little claws didn't hurt at all. And this is the board that we are donating to the wildlife conservation. And we are more than happy to help out any way we can with wildlife or animals at all.
That's so cool.
So
you were so awesome. I can't even thank you enough. Like, seriously, so incredibly cool.
I'm just stoked to help, And
Okay, what is this?
okay, this is walnut,
Uh-huh.
and this is maple,
Okay.
and it's got little feet on the bottom.
Oh my gosh, it's so cool.
We'll put a little care tag in it because the only thing anybody ever has to do is just put some more of the butcher block.
And that's the same butcher
conditioner.
block conditioner that I use.
Not that one, the
the
other
other one.
conditioner. Because it's already been oiled originally. And I didn't know Howard's was in Paso Robles.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's out on Lene Road. So this is the only thing that you have to do to care for your cutting board here and there.
I use
Whenever it looks dry. There's
I use
cloth
it on
to
a
dry
lot
bond.
of stuff in my house too.
Use that one. Yeah, and then they have a restorer finish that will take any of your antiques and things like that and make them brand new. You know what a walnut stick is?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was telling people about that the other day because you have dark furniture and you get a big scratch in it. You just put the walnut stick, it's gone.
Yeah. Oh, my mom, like we always had really nice furniture growing up, and so we always we're conditioning all of our woods, and if there was a scratch, we use walnut sticks.
Right.
And, people are like, a what?
Yeah. Well, the wood gets thirsty when it doesn't have some sort of chemical on it. So from time to time, it's good to just let it put some of that oil on there and just let it sit.
Yep. That's what I used.
But you saw how I made it,
I
right?
was seriously still blown away. And if you guys haven't seen it, you have to watch that video. It's 3 parts because it does take a while.
Yeah.
But I was I was intrigued because I'm like, how does she do it?
Right, even right here, right?
It just.
Somebody asked, do you glue all these little pieces together? And I said, well,
Sorta, yeah.
So, and we can wrap this up for you in paper if you like, or you can take it like this, whichever you prefer.
I can take it like that because I have all these cardboard boxes at home. We're transporting this
That's
stuff.
totally fine. And I'll help you outside with it when you're ready. Okay,
Michael says he loves his. Absolutely beautiful work. Sorry.
It's okay, good. Beautiful
You
work.
need a little burnish thing.
I know. I need to get a brand.
Yeah.
So if we have any welders out there, let's talk.
We are in Paso.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'll need one too pretty soon because I'm going to be making lure handles.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I'm sure we can collaborate on a bunch of cool stuff too.
That'd be fun.
I'm here for you whenever you need.
That'd be fun. You're amazing. Wait, you work for Mayan? That's from Naomi, the one that was saying, I'm from the Central Coast. Happy
Yes,
to be here.
Naomi. Now I have retired from building cabinets full time, and I'm working for Mayan Hardwood in Paso Robles, right where I got these woods that I used, and where I was getting every single piece of material that I used to build cabinetry over the last 24 years. So come see me.
Things that you wouldn't think about. I was building shelves in this cabinet that I made, and they were kind of had a little groove for them to slide in. But
Yeah.
I didn't feel like they had enough support, so I bought those little. It's like a little peg with a little flat thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, little shelf pins.
Yeah. And I'm like, where do you even get those? Mayan.
Yeah.
Mayan's
got everything. So check it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aw.
All right. We're gonna go for now, but thank you guys all for joining
you.
us here today. And again, go check out Anita's falconry experience. She's on here at Falconry Life.
Yep.
Right.
We'll make sure we'll tag her. Yeah.
Okay. Thank
Yeah.
everybody for joining.
Thank
Bye.
you.
See you
Bye.
later.